Most of the people looked at my LinkedIn profile and think that everything was very easy for me. They just look at Google tag, they just look at my profile that I'm working as a cloud consultant at Google, and they just very comfortably make their mind and tell themselves that I must be coming from IIT, I must be speaking very fluent English from my childhood. I must be having a roadmap to be successful. But let me tell you the truth. If you went back and tell my 18-year-old self that one day I would turn down the Google offer just because the salary didn't match, she might have laughed and tell you that you are crazy. I did not started my career from big tech giant. I come from Marathi medium. I had to go through a terrible mistake made by my college, which cost me a whole year of my life. Then I boycotted the college placement. I started my career with just 25,000 a month, and look today. Today I am a cloud consultant at Google. If you are also watching and if you are also thinking that your education, your background, your broken English is um, ruining your future, then today I am going to show you that how I changed the game. I grew up in Torkheda, a very small village near Shirpur. My parents used to live in Malegaon. My father was agriculture officer, my mother was homemaker, and later my sister became forest officer. So education was everything in our home. But in Torkheda, the school was only till 8th grade. So to keep study, I had to move to Malegaon from 9th standard onward. Then after 10th, I decided that I would be doing the diploma in computer. But life gave me a shock. I didn't get admission to computer, so I had to take that instead in the electronics. So I completed my first year in electronics, and in second year I switched to computers. But switching branches came with the condition that I have to give some subjects extra, and I have to submit the huge handwritten workshop file. I did the work. I passed the exam with 77 percentage in my second year, but due to the careless mistake from college administration, the file was never submitted officially. Because of that missing piece of paper, which was not even my fault, I have to cost my whole year of life, and college gave me a year down. Imagine a hard-working student securing 77% in the second year, clearing the extra subject, and being told that you are losing a full year because your office clerk forgot to stamp the file. That time I cried a lot. My parents, my friends used to come every day home, console me that everything is going to be fine. But I was very depressed, I was very nervous, I was crying for so many days because, like, I was hoping that it was just now the last year of diploma and I have to complete that and I have to move forward in my career to my next level. But that setback was very heartbreaking for me. But accepted that one day and thought of, instead of sitting idle, which I couldn't, I have to do something. I have to learn something new. I have to utilize this full year to make it something which would add some value to my life. Then I joined one class where I learned about starting from Windows XP. That time it was the time of 2008, and in that first certification I secured 1000 out of 1000 marks, and the journey continues. So after that one year, I then finally got into the last year of my diploma. I completed that with distinction. I came first. I was happy. I thought the problem of year down is now over, but I was wrong. I came to Pune, I completed my engineering, and in the last year, the college placement season started. The first massive company to visit our college was TCS. So when we had a meeting with our college coordinator and our TPU officer, they were just explaining the rule that someone with ear down cannot sit for the campus placement. But then I had a doubt that it wasn't my mistake. Maybe they are referring to someone who was failed in some subjects, and that why the college year down might have happened to their life. I went ahead and explained them my situation, that what was happened with me. They clearly told me that I cannot sit for the placement. I walked off with no hope. I went straight to my hostel. I was crying a whole day and thinking about my future, that how I'm going to get into very good company, how I am going to start my career. Then I sat down, thought a lot about it, and then I went to my hometown and I decided that I am not going to sit for the placement. I boycott the placement completely. I got a lot of calls from coordinators, from TP officer to come back and sit for the next companies. But then I decided that these companies will not decide my career path, because it's a thing that if you get selected, the company decide in which team you would be working and what path your career would take. And I do not wanted that. So I completely boycott the campus placement. I turn on my laptop. I learn Linux on my own. I used to practice on my laptop using the virtual VMs. And that give me a confidence that what path I need to take in my career, because the year down when I had in my diploma, that time also I used to learn about the systems. Then I applied for Linux certification. I did the Red Hat certification, and I did not just pass it, I cleared that with more than 95%. After completing my certification exam, created my resume, I started applying for the jobs. I was looking for system admin and I was applying the jobs. Then through my friend of friend, I got to know that there is an opening in Webonize lab for the system admin. So I applied that. They called me for the interview and they were all the rounds happened in the same day, one by one. The last round was the HR round, where they were going to tell me that if I am selected or not. They called me in the cabin. I went there and they asked me a few questions, and after that they told me that call your dad. I was confused that why are they asking me to call my dad? But I called my dad and put the phone on speaker and handed it over to them. And they said, like, they announced it to my father that congratulations, your daughter has been selected in our company for the DevOps role. That was a moment. I was so happy, my father was happy, my whole family was so happy. And that was my first job. I started with 25,000 a month. That was 3 lakhs per annum. I started my job. I was so happy. But the real corporate world, it's tough. When I started working, I thought of, the Linux knowledge is enough for this role or this job. But then I got to know about different tools like CI/CD tools, automation, cloud. I heard about cloud for the first time. I didn't know anything about it. I was struggling with doing the job. I was discussing with my friends that how I'm going to do with this job, if I'm going to survive or not. Then I started taking things one by one. I started learning tools one by one. I took a grasp of CI/CD tools, some automation. I used to attend some meetups where I used to learn some tools. And then going back to my work, I tried to implement that. So this is how I started with my first job. And then in 2016, I made my mind that I have to move on. Then there was a company called Cloud Cover. I got a call from that. I went through the interview process. It was fully technical. This is where my life shifted. I learned about AWS, GCP, other clouds as well, and so many tools and technologies. I started implementing things from scratch. I started helping customers to move from their data center to GCP or to AWS. I was working very closely with my CTO and CEO and other team members. To kill my fear, I started giving the hardest certification that time. I started with AWS, give few certifications of AWS, and then moved to GCP. I did not do this just for my resume, but I actually wanted to build the skills around these technologies. I stayed in that company for 6 years. I learned a lot. Whatever I am today is because of that company. So during Diwali, I started giving the interviews. To my surprise, what happened next was all about a dream. I landed with 3 different offers, one from Paytm, Google, and Amazon. Paytm was offering me with a very good package that time. It was 70 lakhs per annum in 2021. Of course, that was with some stocks. And then I had 2 more offers, one from Google, one from Amazon. I was thinking that a girl once was not allowed to sit for a campus placement is now going to become a Googler. But here is a twist. My life without twist is not my life, right? When Google gave me the first offer, I looked at the salary breakup, I looked at the offer, and I knew my 6 years of hard work, my certification, my experience were worth more than that. So I looked at Google team and I said no. I rejected that offer, literally. Every old fear from my village, my Marathi medium background, and my ear down immediately woke up and screamed in my head, "Are you crazy? It's Google. Nobody says no to Google." But I stood my ground. But because my technical score in the interview was so good, so Google did not also wanted to lose me. They offered me with revised offer letter. They increased the package and I joined Google in 2020, February 2022 on 14th February. Yeah, that was my Valentine. At the age of 30, I was officially Googler. People message me on LinkedIn every day and they ask me just like if there is any shortcut or any trick. They want a magic tip or a perfect resume template which worked for me. They are looking at a wrong place. The hardest barrier in my career was not technical. You can learn the tool, you can learn the technologies, you can learn coding, you can learn cloud system with pure patience. The real enemy is your own mind. It's the voice that tell you that you are coming from a village or small background, your regional language barrier, or because of your educational gap. And because of these reasons, we think that we cannot reach to the top of our career. The day I stopped listening to these barriers, the day this world started respecting me for my values and my skills. Your hometown does not decide your limit. Your college name does not decide your value. Your language of education does not decide your intelligence. Your willingness to learn is the only thing that matters. Build great skills, know your worth, and let the big companies come to you. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment below with the name of your town, the college, and where you started your first job.